Well, hello, Career Day 2020 at Gannon High School. This is Mr. McKellar. This is the second take because I started recording this and I forgot to have the presentation also shared. So, oh well, time to make mistakes. So, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to tell you how I got my job title I currently hold and what the previous jobs experience I've had. Well, I know this is boring, but I've had two job titles right now. I hold two. And for the last 20 some odd years, I've also had two job titles because I had two careers going in parallel. So this is not a typical type career to look at, but I'll try to focus mostly on my technical side. All right. So I started off with a bachelor's in computer science and actually got a master's in computer science here at Gannon. But I started off with Raytheon Missile Systems after I graduated New Mexico State University out of Las Cruces. And I lived in New Mexico, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, spent almost 2 years in Japan, and became a lead software engineer. And that's how I started. But I was a computer scientist going into an engineering company. What's that mean? Well, that means I was well outside my field of expertise or comfort zone, but I made it happen because as you'll find out that this is key to your career is how to take something and make more out of it. After Raytheon, I had to increase my knowledge domain. Technology was moving faster than what I was doing up there and back in Massachusetts, and I had a young family, so I decided to take a cut in pay, move my family down to Florida, and started working for a Harris Computer Systems company, which built high-end real-time computers. And they were growing to where they became their own company and things like that. But the biggest thing was I was going to leap forward in my learning and understanding how other companies work instead of Department of Defense type companies, which took me all around the world, especially to Germany quite a few times, all over the United States. I'd help people, our salesmen sell. I also developed new devices, new software interfaces, stuff like that. So I got back to a little more computer science, but I also injected my electrical engineering learning about how systems work and also engineering as a whole. So understanding how things work and how things turn into products. We sold something to General Electric, and I came up here because I needed another job change. I wanted to get away from Florida. I needed to raise my kids in a more uh, a better environment. So my career changed because of how I wanted to raise my family. General Electric opened the doors for me, and I came in thinking I was going to work on a team and start learning how locomotives are put together as far as the controls, all the computers on those stuff. And it turned out to be a big learning curve for myself. And also, I found out that everyone went on to their own careers, and I was left holding the bag. So I had to architect this whole simulation environment, and it started taking off in Florida, India. We use it all over the place. So basically, it's been the benchmark of how we do what we call hardware in the loop, HIL, testing and integration. And it's really, really kind of fun because you think about you have all these computers on a locomotive and it makes it think like it's on a real locomotive, but it's not. It's in a lab or labs. And I also had a little stint with being a software manager. When I didn't quite like the management field because managing to me, I gave up the mentorship, the architect, the hands on the technology thing, and I had to play more of a corporate role, and it just didn't fit my jib too well. So I stepped out of that role after 3 years and came back to a technical lead or senior technical lead. Now, along the same time, one of the professors that was working for me thought that I would also make an excellent professor or give me a chance to be a professor. So I started becoming an adjunct professor for the computer science and electrical engineering departments here at Gannon. And that was a real challenge because now I had two jobs, but I was taking the love of one and applying to a new love that I was starting to get. I really enjoyed education. So that went off almost 19 years. Then I decided to retire, but I couldn't retire. So what happened is I became a consultant which I consult to WebTech and to other companies about real-time systems, and these are the embedded systems. And that's where I'm using my computer science and my engineering background. And I also became an assistant professor with Gannon's new program, what we're trying to call cyber engineering. Now, cyber engineering is really made up of embedded systems and real-time systems, and it was also known as computer engineering. Okay. So let me figure this out. Cyber engineering is really electrical engineering and software engineering disciplines with mathematics and introduced microcontroller platforms and things like that. But you might want to look at it as saying if I substitute mathematics for physics, okay, now I got more of the science involved. And if I take software engineering and put it in computer engineering, you understand that this is all playing together. So you think about it, it's a blended engineering background. Now, why this career? How did I get here? Well, I'm not your typical student. I was a jock. I played all the sports I could, and I even did into college. I played two sports in college. As a walk-on, one in baseball, one in basketball at FIT, Florida Institute of Technology, and I basically was a BC student. I didn't really put my life into it, and I struggled with the math, but I struggled with the math applications. But it really relied on my friends to help me with the math, and so I really learned the concepts of the math, and that was key. Now, my career is also based on my life experiences, traveling, moving around every few days. I was a military brat, so I knew what it was like to keep changing and not being stagnant in the way I lived. So I had a very flexible view of life. And also incorporate into my career was my sports, things I like to do. My team mentorship, being able to have individual competition, and then I also include things that are interest me. I kept my reading up. I really enjoyed architecture, art, books, all around that Renaissance time of or not man's rebirth, but the rethinking of our Western philosophy of the Romanesque, Gothic, and Rococo environments. And then I really love underwater. So anything that's underwater, archaeology, and the stories about that, that's great. And I got to keep my hobbies. And that's what you should do too, is always have hobbies. These are what keeps your brain changing and keeping balanced. If you go to a real technical field, you need something to kind of get you off the technical field to kind of keep you balanced out. So philosophically, though, if I look at it, my career was really not based on being an expert in anything, but being that utility player that I can come in at any given time and be value add to the company. So I made sure about that. But what is really key here is for you to look for opportunity, be ready. And there's no such thing as luck. It's only being prepared and able to take the risk, and you create your own luck. All right. So that's what's going to happen with your career. And this is me. Yeah, this is how I relax. So if you got to think of it, you got to have a hobby. And to me, this is where I go in and totally my brain reboots. This is my comfort zone outside my family. So now you got a little bit about me. I understand where I'm coming from, how I kind of worked around it, and let's see if we can help you out with some of the other things that like skills and personality characteristics of being able to do this job well. Well, you're in a technical field. So a job is what you do for a paycheck. A career is where you have a passion and improves your quality of life. The paycheck will always come. But what do you want to do? How do you want to improve your life? And that becomes your passion. That's your career. So always continue learning to learn. Just keep learning, be inquisitive. Just, I don't care what you learn how to brew beer, learn how to go around the world, learn how insects work. Just keep learning. Be upbeat, positive. Always be half full, the glass half full attitude. It's infectious. It gets other people in there, and it gets you to always start thinking there's always solutions to problems. Not a solution, there's always solutions. You just gotta look hard. And be suspicious of anything that's too easy or too good to be true. So trust but verify. Just be ready. Be competitive. Finish what you start. That is key. Finish what you start. Whether you're late or not, even the homework. finish it. Okay. Take initiatives within reason. Okay. Take initiatives is very key on how to increase your knowledge domain. When it comes to mistakes, take responsibility, okay? Ownership. Take that ownership, take responsibility, learn from the mistakes, but then extrapolate these mistakes to other things. Look forward, see how it feels out, because this will avoid making a new mistake. Okay. Now, we all have a little ADD. Trouble is, if you in today's world with technology and things like that, we're always being pulled off of what we're doing, and our focus is gone. And yeah, you think, oh, I can do two things at once, three things at once. Well, cognitively, your brain can't. And your brain can do other things in parallel, but just like a brain, just like a computer, one thing can only be done at one instant of time. So, got to have this ADD under control. And even though it's so small, manage it. All right. In today's world, put down the phone, okay? Focus on what you're doing. Be versatile and flexible. Diversify yourself. Don't be only focused on one thing. Keep your ideas open. Be broad-minded, okay? And I mentioned about social media, putting the phone down on company time. This is a big problem that I'm finding out with a lot of young people coming in, interns and things like that, students. Um, Too focused on what else is going on in the world and staying focused on what has to be done. This is part of your work ethic, all right? Getting things done. So I refer back to Social Dilemma on Netflix, but this link here, are you a contributor or a participant? This link, read it, okay? This is what business people are looking at right now. This is how we're valuing young people coming out of high school and out of college. Read this, and you'll understand that either you're going to be just doing a time card, that's fine, that's getting you a paycheck, or you want to build something that will build your life and your family. That's your career, right? So, what have I been to help build my career? What have I done? Well, I started off with Raytheon and missile systems, so things would go bump in the night. So you think the gamut was, I started off destroying things, being part of guidance, a part of the simulation, how to make things better. Um, this is kind of classic. This is why, okay, why is this a failure? Well, it's probably because that had a stuck fin, so it's self-destructive. Not a big deal, it happens. But there's other failures that we learn from. So what I've taken here from my career, I pull back into my educational side. What could have been done better? What could have done that? What can we do to make, don't make the same mistakes again? It comes right into my classrooms. Taken in my career, both careers. One of the other things I did when I was working for Harris Computer Systems was these simulators. These are flight mission simulators. These are flight simulators for commercial airlines. I also did it for the military, helped them with their military for the Hornet aircraft carrier landings and takeoffs and stuff like that. And these are like huge flight simulators that you like to play games on. These are on steroids, man. This was fun and really dangerous, scary, dangerous times. So it's almost like the simulators or the stimulators that you go to, like at Walt Disney World or places like that, Universal, where you actually think you're moving around and doing things, but all it is just a big old platform and actuators on these 6 degrees of freedom type devices. That was fun. And then, well, wait a minute, but Don, you said you write software. Yeah, but it's the software that drives systems. It's not just your cloud-based PowerPoint type stuff. It's stuff that makes things move, makes products, it makes quality of life, it helps people. That's what it's all about. And in GE, this is what we did. Yeah, we built locomotives and multiple, and our customers would take these locomotives and build trains. But we actually built the hardware and loop simulation to test all the software and the computers that go on and drive these locomotives and all the uses of these trains and how to make it look like it's somewhere else. So these are scenarios in which we try to do things. And it's all because of software. Ones and zeros. That's what it all comes down to, ones and zeros. Or as my students say, zeros and not zeros. But that's all it is, ones and zeros. So that's been fun. But my career, my I can go almost anywhere else. I could be working on autonomous vehicles, which we do at Gannon. I lead an autonomous vehicle team. But you think about it, your cars now are just packed with computers, these little microcontrollers, these little things here, little things like this. They're all over the place. They're in everything. And it takes software, but it also takes an understanding of the electrical spots, the electronics, the mechanics, the integration, the uses of how it's used outside, vehicle to vehicle communication. That's the IoT side. Oh my gosh, it's building all over the place. Or I can go work into the gaming field where I can actually be writing software for games and developing the low level integration of the hardware so your graphics is better, your speedier, your network is faster. It's all those other things of how to make the quality of the game better. That's what computer and cyber engineering is all about. Skills. Okay. Engineering as a whole, teamwork. It's paramount. It's diverse. You're blended engineering. You're working with different kinds of engineers. They all talk different things. They all think differently. And the business team members, how to make things, the marketing side, how to build these things and sell them. So what's key is your communication side. You got to listen to be understood. So if you listen and then you kind of say what you want to say, you could be better understood, right? And you got to communicate at the level of your audience, okay? So don't try to go over their head, try to sound smart. People won't listen to you anymore. Eyes roll back. My kids did all the time. Eyes roll back, stuff like that. Fine. Make sure you get your message through, all right? So talk to the level of your audience. And know your limitations, all right? Don't try to sound smarter. People know that, and they start looking at you differently. So try to sound what you know, all right? But leverage everyone else around you that has stronger strengths than you, and better things. That's your team building. Leverage that. And don't accept credit for what your teammates do. All right. This is how you kind of build that trust feature again. So don't accept credit, but accept failure. So as a team, you fail as a team, and your customers or your people that you interface to will see that, okay, you're taking responsibility, but your teammates will look at that saying, you got their back. All right. That means you're not a narcissist, right? You don't have that ego. And that's what's key. I've seen a lot of good engineers not have a good career because of their egotism or their way of taking credit or their narcissistic type of view of their life, right? So don't be that way. Be truthful. Always tell the truth. It hurts, but be truthful. And respect others and their opinions. I mean, that is key. I mean, in all days of life, you got to do that, especially now. Be diversified socially and when you're a career toolbox. So socially, diversify yourself. Try to do things that make you feel uncomfortable. Okay, that's good. In your career toolbox, it's all these tools you bring up. Keep it diversified. Don't stay on one tool. Like I'm an expert at Excel. Okay, that's no good. Be good at Excel, but also everything else that Excel might touch. Be good at. Okay. So, is the need for my line of work increasing or decreasing? Let's just look at this one. So, if we just stay on the IoT side, the Internet of Things, the computers that talk to the Internet, stuff like that, not all the computers behind it, just those ones that interface. Okay. 15.7 billion next year. 15.7. Where your cell phones, mobile devices, are topping out maybe 8.6. That's all that's being built worldwide. Worldwide. So you got to start thinking globally now. Okay, don't look at your career as being just United States centric. You got to think global. All right. And you can see now your PCs and your tablets, stuff like that, is all flat. The growth is in the IoT technical side, from medical systems to vehicles to quality of life to your appliances. If you look at when your career is taken off and in 2035, you guys are going to be out and really in the industry. Look at those things. IoT is going to be in everything. That means artificial intelligence. That means the mathematics. That means the communication. That means the storage. That means the security, cyber security, cyber engineering, embedded systems is IoT, and this is where it is. So be aware of that because it's in everything. And then you have to have the moral and the ethics around it so that you're not misusing it. Need I say, Alexa? Need I say anything else? Just listen to your voice. Be careful. So, what do you like, dislike about your career? What are the advantages, disadvantages? Well, I love my career because I was diversified. It's always changing. Oh my gosh, technology was taking off left and right. I had an opportunity to travel and see how other people think and approach problems. I got to lead teams in India and in China and stuff like that. And I had my teammates, and it's really good to have those. I mean, they're not my bestest of friends and stuff like that, but they were my teammates, and it's just that good feeling of working with them. So the advantages was learning new concepts, solutions, lots of opportunity. The money was good, the benefits are great. Um, Anywhere from savings to medical to travel to expenses. It's really was a good way of building your career. And I had that sense of value add. I had a sense of value add to the product, to the customer, to the business, to my family because of what my career was doing. The disadvantages was too many opportunities. I was getting inundated. And what do I do? Do I do this? Do I want to learn that? Do I want to do this? I can't keep up with all this growth in technology. And then pulling out my hair. You can't. What you're doing is a lot of things that young engineers are doing is they're trying to use the internet to solve all the problems. Eh. Internet's always wrong. Nor is it always right, nor is it always wrong. Trust but verify, 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 verify. Engineers as a whole are usually exempt employees. That means they work on a salary. So as a salary, that means you do not get paid for overtime. Normally, it depends on the company. You don't get paid for other things. So you're basically, your salary is based on a 40-hour work week. However, the trouble is that your work ethic in most engineering is that you're working 40, 50, 60, 70, 100-hour weeks. Okay. But not all the time. Okay. So that's what's key is understanding that work-life balance, and you'll learn a lot about that. So punch in time card, fantastic, it's great, that's what it is, but that means you're scoped and limited in growth. Um, as an exempt, you get a chance to move up and down a ladder, move out across outside your work area to other companies, and it works out pretty well, especially the benefits. So, okay. Biggest thing is that all that time took me away from my family, two careers, stuff like that. I don't wish it on anyone, but it does it did take away family. Now I'm making up for it as much as I can. So that's the disadvantage is just too much work and too much time, and but the money was good. So what classes you take for high school students prepare for this line of work? STEM, STEAM, science, yes. Technology, definitely. Engineering, okay. But the arts, everyone says, what about the arts? I say, well, that's what makes in the United States, the way Americans think is that our thinking is not so linear. Our communication, our ethics, it's all based around these arts. And through the arts, we learn philosophical, the rights, the wrongs, how to apply things, thinking outside the box, creative thinking. This is what makes us us, right? So yes, you have STEAM. So does that mean that someone who does artwork, creativity can write software? Sure. Think about it. It's right brain, left brain. They're working together now, and that's dangerous. But think about that is now you apply that to um, medical field. Well, how do you do that? Well, it's because I got the arts of creative thinking and how what makes people feel comfortable, and then you apply it technically, and it improves the quality of life for other people. So it's a blended. STEAM is very, very important. It's just how you blend it all together. What's the other thing? Get involved in school activities. It is key that this is your strength in team building. This is how to work with teams. A lot of times I see students start to fail because they don't know how to interact with other students. They don't know how to open up and communicate. You need to expose yourself to leadership. What's it like to lead or to be led? Okay. And then service to community. I mean, this is key. A lot of business, a lot of careers force us, strongly recommend that we get involved with the community. So stay with what you like. Be very simple, but it's value add, the worth that comes back just pays back dividends. All right. So become well rounded. Ready to absorb whatever college or any post educational venue you take, whether it's a university or not. Be ready to absorb it. Accept it. Well, if you could give young people one piece of advice, I'll give you a few. Take ownership of your life. Do not wait for people. Do not wait for things to take the initiative. Make your own opportunity. Follow your heart. Do what you like. Do it well. Don't hurt anyone doing it. Be passionate what you do. Be ethical. Treat all people around you equally. Don't follow the crowd. Make your mind. Collaborate. Do the research. Trust others, but verify. And if you're given a job or task that seems to be boring, dirty, not interesting, well outside your field, whatever, don't look at it as being a crappy job. All right. If you're going to push that broom, you're going to push that mop, do it with enthusiasm, do it to the best of your ability, improve it. How do you improve things? So take it, own it. And because you're being evaluated by your supervisors, your customers, your colleagues, and this is what opens up opportunities down the line. Hey, we got a real tough job. Hey, this guy did pretty well. Let's move him over and just let's try him on this one. And that's how you grow up. That's how you move up the ladder. That's how you get this world around you trusting you because you do everything well, regardless of the work. Okay. Finally, how do you address COVID-19? How did it impact me? Well, I did a lot of remote education. I learned how to communicate, hopefully communicate better through online chats, being more organized. I plan my days better. I become flexible with my time, communication. I still dress if I go to work. Okay. I become more patient. Okay. Patient with myself because we're all in the same boat and everyone else is not fully organized, and even yourself, myself included. I'm not fully organized on a daily basis. So I have to think about it, prepare for it. And the biggest thing is I got to keep humor up. In today's world, we got to stay laughing. We got to stay humorous. Sarcasm at work was so fun because everyone knew that poking fun at each other was key to keeping things moving. And just be prepared. Okay, prepared for opportunity. Okay, for me, I ran around the neighborhood where I lived in my scuba gear because it was safe. I even closed up my exhaust port so that I had a mask there so I wouldn't spread COVID. So I was breathing clean air. And I was exhaling clean air. And I ran around with a sign that kind of gave me social distancing, asking people if they needed anything in the store. That was my humor. That's how I kind of did it. So once again, thank you for letting me do this. Hopefully I answered some of your questions and not draw on so much to be like a dad. But the biggest thing is that you have a lot of opportunity coming up there. Just make it your own. Okay. Thanks again. This is Don signing off. Cheers.